Welcome to Sh Matters Podcast, where we have unfiltered conversations about the sh that really matters.
Welcome to Shit Matters Podcast. I'm your co-host with the yellow, bright, joyful shirt, along with my beautiful, beautiful co-host, Brandon, Josh, and Kenny. We have a special guest today as well, Mr. Michael Grant. He has the wrong hat on today, along with Kenny also. He need to put a Braves hat on, but we're going to let that slide for today. It's okay. Cheers, fellas.
Let's get it.
Cheers, and y'all. Hopefully you can change your wardrobe before this call ends and put better hats on, because something ain't right.
Absolutely not.
No here. I don't know what's happening. Goodness gracious. But Mike, thank you for being here, man. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No
ladies and gentlemen, please send Mike some love. He actually had a injury, thinking he was Michael Jordan. He's only Michael Grant. And
yeah. I partially tore my Achilles this week, so man. I'm in the cast right now. But
jeez,
we're all good though.
Safe recovery, brother.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Safe
Appreciate
recovery. So today we're gonna have a little fun. We're gonna learn a little more about Mike, his journey. Hopefully, a lot what we discussed today, everybody can relate to, can connect with, pour something from. And so we'll just start, keep it real simple. Mike, who is Michael Grant? Where are you from? What's your background?
Yes. Well, first and foremost, I want to appreciate you all. I appreciate you all for bringing me on. Definitely a pleasure. Well, Michael Grant, born and raised in New York, born in the Bronx, lived in Long Island for a little bit. Moved to Florida back in maybe middle school. Yeah, beginning of middle school. Went to Florida A&M University, transferred over to Florida State University where I graduated. Sorry, my crutches fell.
Achilles.
Yeah, for real. Let's see, what else? I'm a huge sports, primarily basketball fan, but started a company called McWild's Commercial Enterprises back in college, going on 10 years in September. Definitely been a journey. Expanded here to Atlanta, from Tallahassee to Atlanta, and still expanding different operations. I have a few other companies as well. One is called Pregame Express. Hasn't gotten off the ground as of yet, but still moving forward with that. But my life has been nothing but entrepreneurship, to be very honest. From a young kid, raking leaves at a young age just to get some money to buy some sneakers, to now, I'm actually expanding a whole operation. So just a nutshell, I'm always willing to try new things and expand and to take a lot of risk. That's one thing I will say people really know about me, is that I'm always going to be optimistic about certain risk taking. So yeah, just a little bit about me in a nutshell.
Appreciate that. Any comments, fellas?
Hearing you saying entrepreneurship and you've been doing that since a kid, like, who instilled that in you? Or was that something that you just got by yourself?
It was definitely my father. My father hustled. I mean, I don't know. I think his middle name was Hustle, to be very honest. From working many jobs to actually starting different businesses. I think he had this company called, I'm named after him, so he called it Mag1 Deals. And it was like a bootleg Amazon. So people reached out to him to find certain objects, and he had to go around the city and find it for them. So it got out of hand, and he had to close it down. So after seeing that type of hustle that he was doing, he instilled that if you want something, make sure you go ahead and go get it. And only a way is if you make it happen yourself. So that's definitely all from my father.
Gotcha.
That's perfect.
What was the driving catalyst? So you said, from an early age, entrepreneurship, and then really after college, and then you never looked back, in terms of trying new things and starting these companies. What was what's the main driving catalyst that you would say going that route versus the more, I hate to say traditional route, but, the 9 to 5 or, go get a corporate job into, like, what was that? I'm just going entrepreneurship. I'm diving all in.
Yeah. It's definitely, first and foremost, I don't like taking orders or taking direction from other people. And I know that sometimes, even in certain positions, I feel that I'm more qualified and I know more than some of my managers, to be honest. And I realized that at an early age that I'd rather be the destiny, I'd rather take things in my own hands. And I like to say I'm very creative, and I like to see different solutions to be completed in my own way. But just going back to my father, he always told me that wealth always came from building from yourself and betting on yourself. So, at the end of the day, I really never found myself to become a millionaire from my 9 to 5. I wanted to be a millionaire by 30. That was one of my goals, but we're still working at it. I'm 32. But at the end of the day, it's just I knew that for me to get to a life that I truly wanted, more time on my hands, that was the only way to make sure that I owned my own company. I made my own way through my own company.
Immense.
Yeah. And I got a question as far as you mentioned now your risk tolerance is super high, obviously. In the beginning, was it just because you were so naive to entrepreneurship and naive to risk that you didn't even think about it? Or did you go into entrepreneurship when you started that business in college, knowing that there was risk involved, and then built up your tolerance from there? Or were you just, so naive in starting the business that it didn't really matter in the beginning?
Well, I knew that I didn't have anything at at that point. If I failed, I was going to fail and go back to where I was. I think that's where it really came from. I think it's a little bit more difficult now that I'm getting older, that they have a lot more to risk, a lot more that I can lose. So strategically, I have to make certain decisions to make sure that just cover my ass at the end of the day. But I think at a certain point, I had to grow into that risk and understanding that your decisions will affect what will come after. So I think it grows. It grew on me.
No, that's something. Well, one, I'm gonna go back real fast. You mentioned your father several times. It's amazing you have the example, somebody who instilled in you hard work, they instilled in you the spirit of entrepreneurship, the understanding of how to build something for yourself and why you should build something for yourself. That's amazing. And secondly, the millionaire part, right? It's coming. Right? It's coming. This morning, so the video I sent you guys, Mike sent to me about the first down, not touchdown concept in football. How the goal is to get as many first downs as possible. Obviously, ultimately the goal is touchdowns. So, Mike, ultimately the goal is to create wealth. But you've been getting first down after first down after first down. My question is, what was your response when you were on 3rd and 15, or when you were on 4th and 1? How did you handle those situations? Because it's not always easy to get first downs, as we know.
Yeah. Wow, that's a great question. To be honest, it's having different mentors. I think that's a huge thing. It's also another thing I wanted to bring up in this conversation is how important mentors are. I didn't have many mentors growing up, but as I get more into the community and reach out to people that are in business, understanding that taking those steps back is part of that journey. Understanding that you're going to get those bumps and bruises, but at the same time, you still have another drive at the end of the day. So just making sure you're pushing through to get as far as you can to get to that first down, but you will have another opportunity to get to where you need to be. and being able to talk those things over with different mentors and people that are in business is definitely helpful, because they may not have the same situation or the same thing going on, but it's always something that's very close that you can take a little bit from and be able to implement it in your own operations or even just your day-to-day life. So just always know that it's going to be better on the other side. Just always stick to it, never stop. I think when it comes to business, that's all it really comes down to. Like, you just can't say no. I have plenty of stories when it comes to McWild and how we had to push through down to. I think we're going to talk a little bit further about kind of like my community. So I'll save that for later.
No, I mean, hey, go ahead and dive into it now.
Okay.
It's flowing to it.
Okay, perfect. I can definitely jump. So I think I would say back in 2015, the company is a sanitation company, and it transitioned to an environmental consulting firm. So we consult medical facilities, construction companies on the upkeep or even where to put bathrooms within their facilities. And during a certain period of time in 2015, we unfortunately lost a contract. It was a pretty significant contract. And it was only due to the types of people that we were hiring. To be very frank, we were still trying to understand what we were looking for in a potential employee. And that's trial and error. You have to understand what type of person will fit, what kind of communication you would need. And for those reasons, we just had to learn. You had to be in it, to learn how it worked. So as we lost that contract, funds weren't coming in as we needed to be. And you can only imagine, bills are coming, things need to be paid. So I am part of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. My line brothers I'm so fortunate to have them, because they stepped up and helped with, even to a point where they didn't know they were going to get paid or when they were going to get paid. And having that type of support definitely helps wonders. You can only imagine, like, not knowing, doing some work, not knowing when you're going to get paid. There has to be love there at some point,
Mm-hmm.
Even down to our phone mine and my partner's phone being cut off. I had to ask them for funds. Like, I need some funds, some type of funds to get these phones back on. I don't know who's going to call. I need some type of cleaning or some type of service. So little things like that is so important when it comes to having that support system in business. Some people don't have it, but you also have to be smart about who you keep around and who would actually go those lengths to support you. Because if anybody helps me like that, I'm going to do the same thing for them, and they know that as well. So yeah.
Connection.
Can you expand upon so in my world, in the financial world, when I'm working with small business owners, a lot of them say the toughest thing to hire for is the culture fit, right? So how do you go about finding the right talent, the right culture, the right people that you ultimately trust, right? Because that's a big factor too. So I mean, how do you approach that? Maybe it sounds like you went through some bumps in the road trying to figure that out, but maybe how did you switch that approach up to where you are now?
So and I'm glad you even asked that question, because right now, as our company expands from Florida to Atlanta, we were looking for people like my business partner name is Dino, and we were looking for people like us, and that's, I believe that's something that business owners get misconstrued with, because there's nobody going to love your company the way you're going to love your company.
Yeah.
And finding somebody that can, right at this point, is just finding somebody that can follow directions. That's all I'm asking for. That's all it goes down to it. Like, asking, I think it's important. I never understood up until owning a company why it's so important to screen people throughout interviews, understanding, setting out certain qualified questions, really actually having different assessments to making sure that they're fit for the role, because anybody could apply and say whatever. Now we have Chat GPT and you can lie about whatever on
Yeah.
these for these interviews. And then until you actually have that personal conversation or really that connection, understanding who that person is, you're really not going to know.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's just really, once again, it's trial and error at this point. Somebody trying to get somebody that's actually been in that certain field. I'd rather somebody take a risk on a candidate and than really take the risk on myself, because it's my baby, this company is my baby. So learning from that is definitely huge.
Yeah, and I'll throw a question there just to piggyback off of that. I mean, the truest statement you can ever say is what you just said is, as a business owner, your employees are never going to love it as much as you do. It is your baby at the end of the day, right? So what's your perspective on delegation to other people? And obviously, I don't know right now how your management structure and everything is set up, but delegating responsibilities to people allows for trusting in other people that they're going to follow through the way you want them to follow through, which at the end of the day sometimes doesn't work out, because as an owner, maybe I can do that a lot better at this point in time. So what's your perspective, or how do you go about kind of delegating things and I guess building that trust with those people?
Give them context too.
So for me, as a business owner, I'm speaking as that as well. So it's like with my gym, I know as the owner and my business partner, we're going to treat that thing the way we want to. And sometimes it's a little hard to delegate things because we know we do better at this time because we've been doing it for the last couple of years rather than trying to pass it off. And maybe that's just because we haven't duplicated ourselves yet directly into someone else. And I'm not sure where you're at as well, but kind of how you deal with delegating to others and giving that trust to other employees.
So I'm glad you even put that, because that clears it a lot up. So I'm going to ask you a few questions as well, because this was a point where Dino and I were playing Superman for each role, and understanding that, first and foremost, you have to put down everything you do on paper, right? And you have to look at, really separate each role, each task that you do, and put a role on it. That's what made it easier for us to create different roles, because we were doing 3 to 4 roles each in our job. So being sales, doing marketing, accounting, down to actually doing some of the cleans when people aren't available. You have to be able to really separate yourself, and there has to be a point, just like a child, that's okay. Put the training wheels on somebody, walk them through this. You just have to actively do that. It's the sooner that you do it, the easier it's going to be when to really navigate through those situations, because you don't, at a certain point, I would say Dino and I stopped being Superman to all these roles fairly late in the game, and you don't want that, and that's the biggest, I would say that's one of our biggest downfalls in being in business, because you can't expect greatness in all aspects of the business if you're doing it yourself. So even if you are breaking the task, like 3 to 4 tasks, to another individual, just make sure that they have certain KPIs that they meet, and that's it. Just make sure that they follow directions, and that's it. So I say that because it was very difficult for us to let go, and let our employees be actual employees, instead of us babysitting and making sure that just micromanaging everything. Just make sure that that's part of our our notion that we want to also build professionals at the end of the day as well. So it does save money, but saving money at the beginning doesn't always correlate to that, the long-term goal. So the sooner you put it on paper, separate it, create certain job titles or job descriptions, just put people in those positions and making sure it's getting done. I hope I answered the question. I don't think I even answered the question.
No. You definitely answered it as far as how you guys went about developing that structure. And I agree with you. Myself and my business partner, we're in a better spot now, but in the beginning, it was the first year and a half to the 2-year mark. It was like, hey, I can get these 5 tasks done today, and you got to take those other 7 because I gotta go somewhere. I got to go teach class or something. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely learned a lot, and we bootstrapped to get it started up and everything there as well. So it was fun, and we have a great team in place now. But I was similar to y'all, where it was like, I love doing everything because I know it's going to get done the right way. But at some point, I burn myself out if I'm not passing the baton to others. And for me, that was probably one of my hardest things to do as far as a business owner was give up, a piece of quote unquote control of the business, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just kind of loved your takeaway with, writing things down and separating that to analyze what's needed from each, role within a company as well.
Yeah. And I gotta tell you a story about why it actually slapped us in the face. We had a TGI Fridays that we were servicing. It was 7 days a week, and it was, of course, after they close. We had to be there at the actual restaurant 2 o'clock in the morning every night. We had to have staff there, and you can only imagine people don't normally wake up at that time. So we had to be the managers and sometimes also clean rather than hiring enough staff to clean it and then also manage those cleaners. And we wanted to save money on the back end being those managers, but it really didn't make sense. It didn't make sense because now we're cleaning. It ended up being Dino and I cleaning. I think that was one specific day. It was both us, only us, there cleaning. And it was like we hired all these people and nobody showed up. So at that point in time, we had to change something. Something had to change. So I think that was definitely a turning point in our business, and understanding how we really going to scale. You can't scale doing all the jobs. So that's where it was.
I want to go back to your earlier years starting out, and there's probably I know a lot of friends that listen to our podcast so far that want to start businesses, and other people that are probably around the same age as us. I'm 32 as well, and maybe taking that leap in your 30s. But what would you say is just the best piece of advice for someone that's maybe on the fence around starting their own deal and then just taking that leap of faith? I mean, what would you say is one key piece of advice?
This might be really cliche, but just do it.
Yeah.
It's I can, as many, you have no idea how many people, because I've started this 10 years, that makes 24. So 2014, I was a junior in college. So you can only imagine how many people ask me, how do you do it? How did you start at this point in time? What did you do? And I said, I just took the risk and did it. I didn't have much money to put towards it. I just did the research, started the actual business. I think some people don't even start with the LLC. I said, let's just start with getting that first. Start with getting the name, and then you figure it out. Sometimes with the way we started, I actually worked for a commercial cleaning company, and I realized there was a problem that needed to be solved. They gave us certain products that I felt like was killing me when I was cleaning. And I was like, we need to something. We can definitely change that. The speeds that was that we were actually cleaning wasn't adequate. So I was like, there's a need in this. We really need to solve a problem, and we can do this ourselves. So I brought this idea to my business partner. I said, let's really work something out, because we always wanted to own a business, but we just never knew what we wanted to do. But I brought it to him, seen the opportunity, and then for student housing, we noticed that student housing is like maybe 2 to 3 weeks in between each semester, each year. Everybody moves out, and then there's a bunch of people that move in. So they call that term. So we started there. And I will tell you, those trial cleans, you can only imagine the different things I've seen in these students' homes, man. So I've seen maggots, I've seen all sorts of stuff in people's fridges. It's insane. But I would say just, take the leap and just do it. It's so cliche, but it's the truth. You never know. I'm a big believer in actively trying something, knowing, putting yourself out there to really learn. If you don't do that, you don't necessarily know how it is. And I think that's why our customer service is where it is now, because Dino and I actually did the cleaning. So we actually know what it really takes to get things done. So I would say the biggest thing is actually doing it, and don't look back. Don't look back.
Yeah, let's dive into your other business. I'm looking at your Instagram. You have Catch the Vibe, the card game. And
Another one.
I watched it, and I'm all about like games, right? I'm all about game nights, and if I get a group of friends together and we do different type of game nights. So, what's the journey there? Like, what made you start that?
It's back in college again. It's funny, on a campus of FAMU. There was the library. Was a big window in the library, and me and my homeboys used to sit by that library and watch people watch. Right, certain situations happen, we laugh about it, and then we'll say, "Hey, what song would you play behind that situation?" And then we'll literally sit behind our computers, choose a song, and we'll laugh about that whole situation just from the song. So it was like, maybe we did that for a few years, and I thought about it. I was like, this got to be monetized. We got to monetize this. And they thought I was joking. I was like, but I'm always thinking about money at the time. I'm just that's just in my nature. So a few years ago, during COVID, I thought, okay, why not take this time to take this risk and create a card game, And Catch the Vibe was how it started. I thought that it was quite something that people were into, since people are in the house. Why not, make it a card game and make it an adult card game about certain situations that people go through, and put some music behind it. And I felt that from there, I wanted to build on the things that I love, which is hosting, also music, but also a huge thing behind it was just mental health. A lot of the proceeds are going to mental health awareness, and things. I realized that things that you actually love to do, you should put it into something, And I love how it's transpired. Somebody bought it in Vegas and told me they brought it to a bar, and they played it, and it was a hit in the bar. I was like, those are the things I live for. That's what I live for. I want to hear stories like that,
For sure.
So it was definitely a passion project. I could definitely say that.
Okay, that's dope. I mean, music makes the mood for anything, right? Like, I don't care what type of music you listen to, but it can shift the entire mood of the entire event or whatever you want to feel at that moment.
Oh yeah, music and food. Can't forget food.
Right.
Yeah,
Food.
Yeah.
You give me some music and food, I'm all set. Those. Okay, well, man.
Hey, pause for a sip. Pause for a sip, David. I've been drinking this. You ain't been drinking it all. Thank you. Goodness gracious. Can't even chugging that little whatever it is over there.
Yeah, it's already gone. Shit.
Cool. You had a question, Kenny?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you brought up passion, and that's something that comes up a lot with business owners and entrepreneurs. I mean, what else makes you tick? Makes you go? What are you trying to build out ultimately? I mean, aside from the money, hopefully that's just one of the benefits, right? And of what you're doing and creating. But what else makes you tick and get up in the morning and really keep going at this?
I think I'm a very cliche guy, but I love the smiles on people's faces. I love the customer service behind things. I just understand that there are greater things. Like you said, it's more than just money. I love, in my nature, I'm definitely somebody that likes to make sure that people are enjoying themselves, or people are actually getting value out of not even just my time, but just value of something that I've created. And it's and I think that's how people are remembered at the end of the day. People may not remember your name or your face or sometime, but they were going to always remember how you made them feel. So that's something that I live by all the time, every day. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is I want to be remembered on how those emotions, how I brought certain emotions, and through my businesses, that's definitely a huge forefront of what I do.
I love that.
Yes, sir. That's good. All right, cool. We flowing. Another sip. Here we go.
I'm already gone. I'm already done.
There we go. All right, cool. Now let's have a little fun. Let's take a shift real quick and have a little fun. What are your thoughts on Bronny James, Mr. Grant?
Oh, Bronny James, he's not ready yet. Let's just straight up say it. He's not ready yet.
All right, cool. Why is he not ready?
It's just you can see him on the court. Like he's just not as attentive you need him to be. He's just there, and I don't think he's ready for the actual NBA court. If you're doing this on a summer league, it's just not going to add up. He's just going to be somebody on a bench, and that's it.
Let's paint a picture now. Mike, you got kids?
No.
All right. So God willing, Mike Grant III, right, gets born. Mm-hmm. And you're in the NBA and you have the ability to offer your son a job on your team. Would you offer your son a job on your team?
If he wants it.
If he wants it, of course. Okay. If he wants it, just like so. All right, so you 100% give it to him, even though you might hear naysayers say he's not ready yet.
Yes, I will give it to him, even though he's not ready.
Right.
But it doesn't. No doubts in my mind.
I got one more question for you. Okay. Now, your commercial cleaning business. You're the CEO. You're 45 years old. No, let's push it up to 50. And Michael Grant Jr. or the third, he just graduated high school. He's not feeling college. He wants to go right into your business. And you have a position open for him that's going to pay, say, $125,000. And other people, obviously, is more qualified than your son. But would you offer that $125,000 job to your son, the person that looks just like you?
You gotta put emotion to it.
Hold on. I'm just asking my question. It's my time to ask a question, man. You can't leave it, man. It's my time to ask a question.
Objection.
So what I would say to that, he would have to do an internship. Internship to make sure he's capable. If he's not capable, he's not going to make sure this ship is going down. Like that doesn't make sense. That's a bad business. But I believe
you're big on mentors, though. Would you get him a mentor? Or would you just make him do an internship?
Oh no, he has to get a mentor for sure, 100%.
Okay.
But let's go back to Bronny. even though LeBron brought him in, I believe LeBron still knows he's not ready. Can you say that? Do you think so? I can agree to that.
I truly think that parents are biased and that they literally get delusional. 100%. I think parents truly believe that their kids are better than what they really are. So, do I think LeBron is delusional in this sense? 100%. Do I think that he thinks that Bronny's not ready? No. I think LeBron James truly thinks in his head that Bronny is ready.
You would be a great politician. You answer things. Great.
100%.
I'm just saying.
Hey, I told y'all. That's a Bronny James jersey, bro. No way. Listen, like I think we all, if we were in that same position, we all would do the same thing. It's common sense. Like you want your kid to be in the spot. I think the situation with LeBron though is a little bit different. He wanted to play with his sons. To say he played with his sons and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I personally feel that he robbed Bronny of an opportunity to further develop in college because of his own personal ambitions. That's just my thought. Nobody in this world thought Bronny James ready for the NBA. Kid just had a heart attack a year prior. He averaged 2 points in damn college. What makes you think he's ready for the NBA? Nobody. If he wasn't LeBron James' kid, he wouldn't even be playing USC right now, if we're being honest. He wasn't the best in his high school team. He got McDonald's All-American because he was LeBron's son. This kid numbers was horrendous in high school. How's he a McDonald's All-American player?
Yeah, you a good politician too.
Right? But deep practices. Deep practices. Yeah.
He's deep rooted in the politics.
No, but that though. We discussed nepotism previously, and obviously, like it's a normal occurrence in corporate America. It's a normal occurrence in life in general, and whether it's nepotism or connections, it's all about who you know, and we all want to leverage that at some point. It was a fun dialogue around that piece. That'd be different if Bronny was good.
I guess alongside the similar topic, but let's bring it back to Mike and his businesses here. What does success look like to you? What does legacy mean to you, Mike? Looking out 20 years from now and getting real, what are you going to say? Hey, if this happens, then I view that as success. Like is maybe a better way to ask that.
Yeah. So statistically, I've been more looking at statistics within the industry, and I want market share, to be honest. I want to make sure that we are servicing a good amount of organizations out here in the United States. But also success, other than that, success is also, I want specifically for McWild to be a household name. I think that was another thing that was a huge push for Dio and I, was making sure that, why can't McWild be like Clorox or Nike? Like, what is so different but behind our organization than theirs? So I guess it goes down to just making sure we're making the specific making that impact, and being that company that truly made a difference. But just recently spoke to one of my mentors as well about being international and making a difference in certain communities, like in the Caribbean, providing opportunities in the Caribbean, because I have a background, I'm Jamaican, and making sure that we are giving back in a way of mentorship, in a way of just jobs all around. And being able to do that, providing jobs, I always thought that providing jobs is a huge blessing. Being able to change somebody's livelihood is something that is very fulfilling on my end as a business owner, and being able to give opportunities to people that may not think that we're able to get that opportunity. And professional development, all that. I just always want to be remembered of providing those things to people that may not have it, may not think that they were able to get it. So those are things that I want to be remembered for.
I love that.
There we go.
Appreciate that.
Anybody? I'll tie in this real fast. So obviously, discussing success in business, success, influence, creating impact, right? I think I've heard podcasts, I've watched stories of guys who mentioned how they became more successful when they had the right partner. Now, I'm not referring to business partner, but an actual spouse. The men say how when they married such as woman, she 10x their life, 10x their business, etc. Right? You hear all the time that the person you end up marrying, the person you end up being with or dating, or whatever it may be, is the most important choice of your life. It can either better it or it can bring it back. Right? You so happen to have an amazing partner. And the question I would have is for you, do you feel, and for everybody don't know, Mike and Gabby have been together for a long time, and she's a very ambitious person. Does that make you want to move harder? Does that push you to do more? Does that elevate your vision and your dream? Does it scare you that you may not possibly meet that expectation? Like what does that look like for a picture? Because it can be scary sometimes, if you're being honest. So like what does that look like?
That is such a great question. Such a great question. And that's it's well, my girlfriend's name is Gabriella Stroud, and she just recently passed the bar, and she's an attorney now. So big ups to her. But
Cheers.
Cheers to that. Hold on.
Yeah.
Cheers.
go ahead,
Cheers to that one.
Big ups.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So with that, I always knew that I wanted an ambitious woman, right? A business partner. And reason being that I never seen myself I needed somebody to match the same type of energy I have, and I think that's important because if I am stagnant or if my lady is stagnant, we won't necessarily get to the place that I always dreamed to be at or see myself being at, when it comes to financials. But happiness, I think what makes me happy is that she is just as driven as myself. And I see it as more motivation than anything. So now that she has, she passed the bar, now she's an attorney. I have to level up. These businesses have to hit millions at this point. So I like to see it as a motivation, and it also pushes me to be better, to be more of a student, because I tell her she's a professional student all the time, and the more you learn, the more you look into your expertise, the better you're going to be. And I believe that's what she did. And I always tell her that she's the one that actually taught me more about finance, how to make sure that I get all my ducks in a row in order to make sure that not only the business is okay, my own personal finances, and then also the future. So she taught me that at an early age. That's my high school sweetheart. I've been on and off, but this is it. I'm done. I'm not doing that. This is good. I'm so secure in this woman because she's given so much to me, and I feel that I've also given so much to her. And then in regards to just how we mesh, how we understand each other, I think that a partner, you have to understand that if that partner matches your energy the way you want them to, it's going to always be success in that end. And I think she's a huge part on why I push so hard in business or just personal development altogether.
Amen to that. Cheers one more time, then. I want to cheers to that. Yes, sir.
You make me feel like an alcoholic at this point.
Nah, you got a whole cup over there. You got a whole glass over there. You gonna be babysitting over there. That is real though. Honestly, man, it's I feel like the same with Alexa. Like Alexa, my fiance, you guys don't know, she's probably one of the first women that I've ever had in my life who truly challenges me. My parents love her. My mom and dad love her for that because she checks me very fast, but she keeps me accountable. When I am slacking, she makes it known. Sometimes I don't like the tone of how she do it. I'm like, you be a little nicer, damn shit. You know? Be a little mean with the words you're saying, but
somebody we need that. But we need that sometimes.
We need it. And she's from New York too, so she's from Harlem. She got that Harlem attitude, but it's like it makes me want to go harder. I have no choice. She won't let me do anything less than that, and I love it. I love it so much. And I think when you have that helpmate, that person that compliments you, it also has the audacity and the balls to challenge you. Either gonna grow up or you're gonna nut up. One of the two.
Yeah. 100%.
I ain't got nothing. This is my baby. I can't lose it. So but some cats though are afraid of that. They are afraid of that challenge. They are afraid of having that woman who will push back on them. And you lose a good thing. So the Bible does say, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing." Right? Finds the right wife.
Proverbs 31.
Yes, sir. It needs to be the right one, though. You know what I'm saying? But man, no, this has been. Anybody got any questions you got for Mike? Anybody before you wrap up?
No, we appreciate you just coming on, sharing your story, sharing your journey. It takes a lot to be in your shoes, start a business, and do what you're doing. So kudos to you, and nothing but success moving forward, my brother. I wish nothing but the best for you.
Appreciate it. I do have a question for y'all. Though.
What's up?
Yeah.
What is the why for y'all? What is the why for this?
Kenny, Brandon, Josh.
I'll go first. Just changing one person's life and perspective for the positive, right? I feel like if we're impacting one person, we did our job, and hopefully each episode at least is able to shed some light for positivity. We got enough negativity in the world, so if we could keep spreading good values, good stories, and just good vibes, that's going to change the world one person at a time, right?
Love that.
And it's all about building a community. Like, it's something that we can help each other. Like, we've even said, if we can just help each other get better. Like, I've gotten better just conversing with them and talking about different type of things, but adding you into the mix and adding this, building a community, that's what it's all about. If we all can get better at the end of the day, then we won. Like, I don't care how big the audience gets, but if we can continue to help each other, then that's what it's all about.
100%.
Yeah, I think selfishly we started it as like we all had similar thinking mindsets, and we wanted to, have these conversations to, hold each other accountable and obviously get better in our respective fields. And, but to Kenny and Cope's point, it's like, and I think I might have said in the first episode, there's other people out there that are thinking just like this, but they don't have an avenue or platform to talk about it yet, maybe, or they don't have people in their circle yet that do think like them. So just try to be another avenue out there, another, person that, thinks like them and has their back that we might not even know, but they may listen to our podcast and may listen to you talking today, Mike, and be like, you know what, I do have to just do it. I do have to get off my ass and just go start that business. So we may not know it. Like, we know that there is an impact coming. And that kind of is what gets us excited to continue doing it.
I love it. What
about you, D? You're not off the hook.
Yeah, exactly.
He thought he was just going to close out.
Come on now.
Just take a drink for that. Everybody drink. You drink, Mike? Come on now. Here we go. Hey, for the listeners, we aren't alcoholics. We just like sipping on a little something every now and again. But I think you all answered it perfectly. And it ties into what we were saying originally before about just being a conduit of change. Right? I think genuinely, for me, this is comedy therapy. Having a place that comes up with my voice about things that actually matter. And have fun doing it. And hopefully people who listen take something that we are saying. And if we grow, cool. If we don't, then cool. But somebody hopefully be impacted by what we're doing. At the end of the day, it's all about impact, community, and hopefully instilling some kind of change in somebody. Right. And I think we are on the path of doing that. First down at the first down. But I ain't gonna lie to you. We try to be Joe Rogan one day too now. You know what I'm saying? What y'all say? Why not us? Why not us? Why not us? You gotta start somewhere.
Amen.
But and again, like you were saying before, Mike, it was just starting. Right? We were first having talked about doing this. I ain't gonna lie, I was the one that was kind of, I wasn't being a cynic, but I was saying, like, man, it's thousands of systems out there, and that's like, well, it don't matter. It's thousands of whatever out there. It is though, but like you have this mindset of I ain't gonna, we can't do that, and everybody does that, and they never just start.
Yeah,
you just got to do it, right? We just did it.
Do it.
We said, let's just jump in and let's just do it.
You gotta do it. So hey, just do it. Just do it. But Mike, man, thank you for coming on, brother. Wish you nothing but success.
Appreciate it.
And hopefully, we all can get together in person one day. Oh, yeah. Once that knee get better, and I can get some buckets on the court. Kenny little hooper too though. Like
Cope needs 5 fouls. He might hack you out there. But,
yeah, he needs 7 of those.
That's what it is. I'm beating him to the spot.
Beating to the spot. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I'm beating him to the spot.
Well, we definitely set that up. But I do appreciate you all the opportunity. This was definitely fun. Like this is actually my first time on a podcast, so this was definitely something that I can mark off the bucket list of things that I've done, and it's I believe in y'all mission. I truly want y'all to continue doing what y'all doing because this is amazing. You know, this is God's work. So continue doing this, making sure that you guys are definitely putting this great content out because people will see. I promise you, just keep on doing it. And you know, you have my support, and hopefully I'll be back on this podcast with even better news.
We
millions.
We appreciate you.
And Mike, let the people know where they can find you at as well.
Oh,
IG or whatever.
So my IG is Grant Me Kicks. GrantMeKicksz. Grant Me Kicks. It's the best way to get to me, and I'd love to have you.
Follow. If you know anybody who owns commercial businesses, send them his way as well. No, most definitely. So cheers to you all.
Cheers.
Have a good evening. Thank you for listening. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Peace out.
There we go, man. That was nice. That was fun.
That really matters.